Earlier this week, I shared my unsolicited opinion on the trending Trabablas interchange issue. When we talk about infrastructure development, there's nothing wrong in admitting kuti apa ZANU-PF yagona. It doesn't make us any lesser in saying kuti we do not have to criticize everything that ZANU-PF does because ZANU-PF has
That is true.
By giving them credit, we're not absolving them of every other shortcoming. But why can we not just say,
as a matter of fact,
that's the direction we should be going?
As a matter of fact, by giving them credit, you give yourself credibility when you criticize. Because they know you're not criticizing from it, but you're criticizing for things to go further. Because how can an interchange on that level not be impressive when it's the first one we're seeing in Zimbabwe? Just because it's happening in 2025 doesn't make it any less impressive. It's the first one we are seeing. People are excited for good reason. We haven't, like, let's not be dishonest. There's so many things to criticize about that interchange, but the fact that the interchange exists is not a thing to criticize.
And the effort has been made.
Another thing as well, whether it's ZANU-PF or Ningirigini, when these people are not in power anymore, interchange. There's so many things to criticize of this interchange. You can talk about, we are seeing my figures that are not making sense. You can say, can Parliament discuss this so that for future projects we can have a baseline? How much do these things cost? How are they going to cost the taxpayer?
How do we audit the tender awards? And all of that?
We can have a conversation. All right, even Zitare interchange. Can you explain to us thought process? Because Trabablas is a mouthful. That opinion excited a lot of passionate responses and arguments. I am here to offer an equally passionate rebuttal. Let me start with the Murakashi allegations. I've been a comedian for close to 10 years now. If your takeaway after interacting with any of the things that I do is that I'm a ZANU-PF agent, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't think there's anything I could tell you to change your mind. I don't think I even care to change your mind. Then there is the applauding a fish for swimming analogy. The problem with that analogy is that we are very clearly not dealing with fish here. These are crocodiles. For 45 years, ZANU-PF has governed with impunity. They don't care. It's not that they don't know that the healthcare system is falling apart. They know. But ask yourself why the philanthropist-in-chief donated $1 million to Highlanders and not to Mpilo Hospital. I'm not trying to praise a fish for swimming. I'm acknowledging the crocodile for not fully giving into its crocodile tendencies. When it comes to misappropriating state funds, these guys don't really need an excuse. Before the interchange project, there was the solar street lamp project, then the Gokwe Stadium renovation project, or the Gwanda solar project, or Gold Mafia. But the difference between those other instances and the interchange is that with the interchange, we were actually left with something to show for it. I'm not asking anyone to be okay with corruption. I would never ask that. But I'm asking us to be honest with ourselves and recognize that this is the state of the nation. These are the people that we're dealing with. We have tried elections, we have tried demonstrations, we even tried shaming ZANU-PF. And all these actions have had varying degrees of success, but nothing has brought us to the one desired outcome, which is for ZANU-PF to become an opposition party. So while we wait to try again in 2028, why not appeal to their vanity, their incessant need to be praised? We already do it when we see these people bow. Chimdara, boss ningi. So why not do it so that we can get the things that benefit the majority? Like getting Parenyat were renovated. Even as I say this, I realize how juvenile that sounds. But honestly, what is the alternative? We're being held hostage by a group of selfish individuals, made worse by the lack of viable opposition with next to zero representation in parliament. We don't actually have a tangible way to demand the accountability we absolutely should be demanding. The Auditor General can audit the hell out of these books, but who's going to arrest those who should be arrested? Kuti Interchange Bo is not equal to ZANU-PF Bo at all. The problem with trying to center moral superiority within our public discourse is we run into very big problems of hypocrisy and double standards. Because what happens now that Wicknell has given $1 million to Highlanders? Are we going to boycott Highlanders games? If we are so disgusted with ZANU-PF, then who is filling up these Scotland FC games? I'm not claiming that my idea is the best, but we have to learn how to disagree without casting aspersions on people's characters. Because at the end of the day, we are all on the same side. We want the same thing. We are just disagreeing on the how, but we really are on the same side. Healthy debate is how we're going to get to the best idea. When you shame people for having different perspectives, those people don't necessarily change their points of view. They just keep to themselves and then shock us with their opinions on an important day like election day. Even worse, they become convinced that their voices are insignificant, so they exclude themselves from national processes. And then when we get to election day, it's apathy. We need to debate passionately but respectfully. Make me see the error of my argument. Even if I don't, let's shake hands after and go our separate merry ways. If the only time you share your opinion is to dismiss other people's opinions, then you need to do better. Be brave. Give us an original thought. I realize that all this is easier said than done, but we owe it to Joshua Nkomo, who believed that young people would save Zimbabwe. We owe it to each other to at least try.